Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, well, the stakes couldn't be higher.
No, not at all.
We've taken this massive stack of source material, all the injury reports, the schemes, the big predictions, and we're filtering it all down for you.
Right.
We're diving into two divisional playoff matchups that are less about, strength versus strength, more about attrition versus opportunity.
Yeah, and that's really the mission. Our job is to go beyond the surface and find those critical vulnerabilities in these four teams.
The ones that the experts believe will decide the game.
Exactly. We're drilling down into the key stats, the shocking injury reports, and, the specific strategic plans that opponents are setting up to exploit all those weaknesses.
Absolutely. We have some fascinating angles today. Who is actually healthy, how specific defensive schemes are creating major headaches, and whether a coaching track record can, overcome physical deficits.
So where are we starting?
Let's jump straight into the AFC showdown, because the story of the Buffalo Bills versus the Denver Broncos, it's fundamentally about health. It's about attrition.
It truly is. I mean, the consensus across the board is that Buffalo is just, they're physically hobbled. They're going into this game operating at a serious deficit.
The numbers are just tough to look at. We know Josh Allen is playing, yes, but he's dealing with that knee and the finger injuries.
Which is already a problem.
It is, but the true gut punch is what's happened to his receiving core.
Oh, it's a devastating scenario for a playoff team. I mean, losing two wide receivers to torn ACLs after the wild card game is it's almost unheard of.
Right.
Shavers and Davis, those are specific critical absences that fundamentally change what Buffalo can even run. You tally it all up, they have 14 players on IR right now.
14. And the Broncos, they look like they've been on a 2-week spa retreat or something.
Exactly. Healthy, rested, and ready to meet a severely wounded opponent.
Now, this wounded Bills offense is running straight into a buzzsaw. Denver's defense is ranked #1 in scoring. Why is that specific unit such a nightmare matchup for Buffalo right now?
Well, it's a combination of pressure and their run defense.
Oh.
They hold opponents to less than 4 yards per carry. So Buffalo can't just lean on the run and bleed the clock out easily.
Right.
But what's really frightening is the pass rush. They've racked up 68 sacks on the season.
68. Wow.
Yeah, Benito leads with 14, and they have 4 different players with 7 or more sacks.
So the pressure is coming from everywhere.
It's constant, it's distributed, and that's what the experts are really focusing on.
So, okay, even if Allen manages to buy some time against that ferocious front, what happens when he finally looks downfield? How much does that Denver secondary really help their pass rush?
That's where Patrick Surtain comes in. I mean, analysts are unanimous on this. He effectively shuts down a full half of the field.
A whole half.
A whole half. So if you are already missing 2 top targets, and then you have half the remaining field erased by 1 elite corner, it just forces you into this tiny, compressed passing game.
Okay, let's drill down into the strategic problem that the analysts really keyed in on. Denver plays more man coverage than any other team in the NFL.
And the Bills seem to be allergic to it right now.
So what do the cold, hard stats show about this specific struggle?
The drop-off is, it's startling. When they're forced into man coverage, Buffalo's completion percentage just plummets by 11 points.
11.
And their QBR, that's the advanced total quarterback rating that accounts for everything, it drops a full 10 points. The analysts are very clear on this. The current, patchwork wide receiver unit, it simply doesn't have the talent to consistently get separation against a premier man coverage team.
So the strategy seems obvious then. You have to avoid 3rd and long, avoid those obvious passing downs. James Cook has to be the engine.
He has to be.
But how likely is it that Denver lets them run the ball effectively, knowing how dependent Buffalo is on that ground game?
Highly unlikely. If you look at Denver's blitzing habits, they blitz the 5th most in the league.
Okay.
And a lot of that pressure, it's going to be dedicated run blitzes designed specifically to put Cook behind the sticks early on. If they succeed, Allen is forced into a passing situation.
Right back where they don't want to be.
Throwing against man coverage with an injured finger and a depleted receiving group. The source material warns this could easily become a repeat of that disastrous game against the Houston Texans.
Oh, the 8 sacks and 2 interceptions.
That's the one.
So, given everything we just laid out, the statistics make a Buffalo win look nearly impossible. Is there any analytical lifeline for the Bills here?
This is where it gets interesting because the Josh Allen narrative viewpoint comes in.
The narrative, okay.
The argument is that the physical odds are stacked so high against him, the injuries, the better opposing defense, that if he loses, he's excused.
He gets a free pass.
Essentially, yeah. It doesn't really damage his legacy, but, and this is the key, if he wins, the analysts say he moves one step closer to immortality.
Joining the Montanas, the Mahomes, the Bradys.
That tier. It's the perfect scenario for a legend-making, career-defining performance, no matter what the official outcome is.
That's a great piece of insight, goes way beyond the playbook. We can't forget about Denver's quarterback, Bo Nix.
Right?
The sources noted this is a strength versus strength matchup. Denver throws the ball more than any team, but the Bills' defense is really strong against the pass.
Right.
So what's the key to making Nix effective?
It all comes down to coaching and game management. Sean Payton is key here.
Okay.
He aggressively targeted Nix early in the draft, and analysts believe Payton has this unique ability to just tailor the game plan perfectly to what Nix does well.
I see.
So the crucial takeaway for the Broncos is this. They will win this game because of their defense. It's elite. They will not lose it because of Bo Nix.
He's just designed to be effective, not heroic.
Exactly. He just has to manage the game.
Okay, so the overwhelming consensus favors the Broncos' defense controlling the game. What are the actionable insights from the betting world?
Well, the line is Broncos minus 1.5, which is surprisingly tight.
It is.
It is, considering the physical disparity. But the strongest advice from the experts is to play the under 45.5.
And that's because of the pace of play.
It's rooted entirely in the slow pace Denver plays at, and the absolute struggle Buffalo is going to face when that Denver defense forces them into man coverage. It's just expected to be a defensive slog.
Okay, so we've established the Bills are facing this huge physical challenge. But let's shift gears completely to the NFC, because the 49ers versus Seahawks matchup presents a pure challenge of, well, logistics.
It's an enormous, almost unprecedented disadvantage. The 49ers played a tough game Sunday in Philly.
Right.
And now they have to immediately travel back across the entire country for a high-stakes Saturday night game in Seattle. That short turnaround, the travel, the time zone change, it's just a massive burden.
Meanwhile, Seattle has had 2 full weeks to just rest up and scheme for this one game.
2 full weeks.
And when you look at the recent history, how successful has Seattle been at taking advantage of San Francisco, even when the 49ers were healthy?
Oh, highly successful. The sources really highlight San Francisco's, their crippling struggles against the Seahawks defense recently.
How bad has it been?
The 49ers have generated only 20 total points against Seattle this entire season.
20 points total.
Total. And in their last matchup, the Niners had what the analysts called their worst offensive output they've ever had. They managed only 173 total yards and just 3 points.
That's staggering.
Yeah.
So this logistical disadvantage is only compounding existing roster issues for them. Let's talk about the defense first. They need pressure, but since week 3, the 49ers pass rush has kind of vanished.
It's a massive vulnerability. Since Nick Bosa got hurt back in week 3, the 49ers rank 31st in the NFL in pass rush win rate.
31st.
And that lack of pressure is so critical because their quarterback, Sam Darnold, is notoriously, susceptible to it. Pressure is his kryptonite.
Right.
If they can't make him uncomfortable, he has time to execute against a strained secondary.
And on the other side of the ball, the Niners offense is missing an anchor player. Someone who helps power their most dangerous weapon, Christian McCaffrey.
Exactly. The absence of George Kittle, who some analysts call KD, it's a massive loss.
He's so important for their run game.
He's instrumental. He helps them seal the edge of the defense for those outside running plays. The sources noted his absence made it exponentially more difficult for McCaffrey to find consistent running lanes in their last game against Seattle.
And if that wasn't enough, we have breaking injury news. Sam Darnold suffered an oblique injury on Thursday. That's just 2 days before a Saturday game.
Yeah.
That doesn't exactly scream high-powered offensive production for a team that's already struggling for points.
No, it definitely does not. And with all these factors lining up, the short week, the difficulty running, the Darnold injury, it's why there is such high confidence in Seattle just dominating this game.
So the expectation is what?
That Seattle's defensive physicality, their speed, their strength will simply take over.
Their defensive coordinator, McDonald, is getting a ton of praise in the sources.
He is. He's being put up for Coach of the Year consideration.
So what does this strategy look like for Sam Darnold? Does he have to carry the team?
No, quite the opposite, actually. The consensus is that Darnold just needs to do just enough.
Game manager role.
Totally. Clint Kubiak, the OC, will focus entirely on game management, making sure Darnold doesn't turn the ball over or put the defense in a bad spot. Seattle expects to win because their defense is going to dominate the battle against this exhausted 49ers team.
So the analysts are advising heavily against the short rest team in a tough road spot. What are the betting takeaways?
The prediction is the Seahawks -7 with strong advice to play the points with Seattle. They're anticipating a pretty decisive victory given all the circumstances.
This brings up a really critical counterpoint, though. We've laid out all the reasons why the 49ers should lose this: game logistics, injuries, recent history.
Right.
But there's one factor that could just override all of it: coaching pedigree.
And this is where we pull in that fascinating piece of playoff trivia we found. It connects directly to Kyle Shanahan's unique track record.
Okay, I'm ready for this.
The question posed in the source material was this: which NFL coach has the most career wins without ever losing across the first 2 rounds of the playoffs?
Huh. So not just wins, but no losses in those first 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
You'd probably guess a Super Bowl legend, right? Maybe someone from decades ago.
I think. But the surprising answer is, in fact, Kyle Shanahan.
Really?
That's right. Shanahan holds a perfect 7-0 record in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs.
7-0. He simply does not lose early.
Never.
A perfect track record. The source material highlights this pattern, right? His teams either make it all the way to the conference championship game,
Or they don't make the playoffs at all. It's an all-or-nothing trajectory.
that's incredible.
And here's a great fun fact for you. The surprising runner-up on that list.
Who is it?
Rex Ryan. He's got a 4-0 early round record. It just highlights how unique Shanahan's consistency really is.
So this adds a really fascinating layer to the Seattle game. Shanahan is a huge underdog here, facing deficits he rarely has to deal with.
A huge underdog, yeah.
But he has this remarkable, unblemished track record in these exact situations. It's the X factor the analysts are all wrestling with.
It is. It is the one variable that suggests that despite all the logistical nightmares and the injuries, Shanahan has consistently found a way to win in these early round high-pressure games.
Okay, so let's synthesize what we've learned. We unpacked 2 massive conflicts. First, an injury-riddled Buffalo, relying entirely on Josh Allen's potential heroism versus the dominant scheme-proof Denver defense.
Right.
And then we have the logistically exhausted 49ers facing a rested, physical Seattle defense where the entire outcome might just depend on whether coaching pedigree can beat physics.
And that leads directly to the final thought we want to leave you with, specific to that NFC matchup. We noted Shanahan's significant, perfect 7-0 early playoff record versus Mike McDonald, who is coaching his very first playoff game.
Big experience gap.
Huge. So considering the sources stress Seattle's overwhelming physical advantages, the Niners' short week, and their poor offensive history against them, will Shanahan's raw historical experience alone be enough?
Right.
Is it enough to overcome all of those logistical and injury deficits that the sources cited?
That is the question worth chewing on this weekend. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
We'll catch you next time.